The event. The mic is not on, so the room fortunately isn't super big. We can pretend that it's working. Final reminder to shut off your cell phones or turn on vibrate, please, so we don't interrupt anything. All right, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the president of Corrigan Sports Enterprises, Mr. Lee Corrigan, who's also the executive director for the race. You're welcome.
Well, thank you, everybody. It's great to be here again. 12th annual Care First Running Festival. I mean, what a great event this is for the community. Special thanks goes out to the mayor and the board of aldermen for all their support. I can tell you from doing these events all over the country, if you don't have that guy's support, there's going to be a lot of fences put up that you're going to have to jump over. So special thanks to Mayor Randy McClement. I'd like to ask the mayor to come up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. It's my job to tell you I've officially canceled the marathon.
Not so funny, Randy.
As Lee said, this is a great event for the community. It's been a long-standing event, and it had some interesting starts. We were just talking about it earlier. In my past life, I did bagel and deli shop, and we were asked to provide bagels for the first year, and we did. And about halfway through, we got the call, can you also provide coffee? That was the year it snowed. It was a very interesting event. But it's great for the community. And I would say that it hasn't been without some trials and tribulations of getting the community involved. But I think, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, it's been a great community event. The outreach from the community has grown every single year. We see more and more people along the route having waving parties where they'll get out in front of their house and they're sitting out there with their cold drinks watching the runners go by. Hi, guys. Yeah, keep going. So I think it shows that we understand the importance not only from the government side but from the citizen side. I know that a lot of the concerns in the beginning were the churches, and the churches are starting to embrace this as well. My church, I go to Calvary United Methodist Church downtown, and one of the things we started doing about 4 years ago was it affected our 8:30 service. So we shifted the service 15 minutes, and our minister goes out at 8 o'clock and blesses the runner as they go by. And all we do is just have little hymnal sings while we're waiting for the rest of it to go by. So we have a great community event here. We appreciate all that you guys do to put this together. It's a great event. It brings a lot of people here. Even I was very surprised at the difference between the full and the half marathon. I think we've gotten more people with the half marathon than you had with the full, and it allows the concentration a lot more within the city boundaries, and we enjoy that. So again, thank you very much. I know we have employees that are participating in the run. Some are new. I have someone who works for me, Lauren O'Malley, is going to take a shot at it for the first time this year. So I encourage all of our own employees to get up and do it. I'm sorry, I won't be doing it. But I will be there to start everybody to say, yeah, go. But again, thank you all very much. It's a great event. I think we're supposed to have very good weather this weekend. So I look forward to having you all again. So thank you all very much.
Thanks, Randy. And something I want to touch on, what Randy said, is there's so many people in this room that have been involved with this event and this event becoming such a staple here in the community. The Frederick Police Department. I can tell you from working with a lot of police departments around the country that these guys really know what they're doing. They do a great job preparing, and they've been so supportive. They really help us smooth out some of the rough edges in the community because they're so entrenched in it. So I want to thank Lieutenant Jason Keckler. He's back there. Thank you so much for everything you do. Sergeant Joe Simmons, our main man in the red, Dr. Wade Brown. And Wade has been with us since day one, and he's been really, really helpful over the years. We've hit a couple hiccups here and there, and he's always there to encourage the community to keep going with this event, and it's really grown into a spectacular one. Corporal Charlie Snyder, Officer John Meyer, also from Fire and Rescue. I want to thank Chief Doug Wallach. Once again, these are the people that really make it happen for us, along with Devin Hahn from the City Traffic Engineer's Office, Jim Weldon from Public Works. Once again, you don't have these guys on your side, and all of a sudden, all the little things that it takes to get this thing together become really a big task and very difficult. So thanks to all of them. Once again, we start and finish at the Frederick Fairgrounds, which is a great spot. Thanks to Becky Brashear and Mark Ziegler. It is wonderful because we start there, we finish there, we have the party there, and there's plenty of parking at the fairgrounds and around the fairgrounds as well, which really makes our event very convenient, and that's really one of the things that runners are looking for. Great news. As you said, the weather report's going to be awesome. About 54 at the start, maybe the highest 70, all under sunny skies. Knocking on wood there. So that's awesome news. And one of the things I want to mention about the event is how great it is for the community in terms of economic impact. You know, I'd like to acknowledge some of the people here in the community that work on economic impact, tourism, our buddy John Fiesler, Heather Graham, Donna Goff, Paul Fry, and of course, I want to acknowledge Mr. Richard Griffin, who's at the forefront of these efforts for the city of Frederick, and I also like him to come up and say a few words. Mr. Richard Griffin.
Thanks very much. When you bring 7,000 people to town from all over the United States, from all over the region, and those folks are staying in the hotels, eating in the restaurants, filling their cars up with fuel, you can imagine the economic impact that makes on our community and for our small businesses, particularly our restaurants, our retailers, our service providers. Towson University has a group out there that estimates what the economic impact of different events are, and a few years ago they made an estimate for this event, and their Regional Economic Studies Institute estimated that somewhere around $3.5 million are generated in direct and indirect impact in the community from this race. But there are other intangible things that happen as well. When you bring that many people to town and they tweet and Facebook and go to their social media platforms to talk about their race and their event and Frederick and things like that, you really can't place a value on the marketing that provides throughout the United States for this community. And ultimately, that leads, we think, to higher tourism. We get about 1.5 million visitors a year right now that pass through the community thanks to the efforts of the Tourism Council and others. But that number should grow every year, and by through social media and events like this, we're promoting our community. Additionally, you never know when one of those racers coming in from another community is also a business person, and they're making decisions about where to invest in the future. And so, or they talking to another business person who's talking about setting up facilities in the Mid-Atlantic. And we want Frederick to be on the map when it comes to investment in the Mid-Atlantic for companies. And so, you have the direct and indirect spending of the patrons, the racers and their families, $3.5 million. But then you have this larger effect as well. So we're really looking forward to the event. We think it's an economic bonanza for the community, and particularly our small businesses. We're looking forward to being a host for the race. And my wife and I are going to be out there in that 50-degree weather on Sunday racing. I just have one thing that I'd like to mention is that I noticed your sign here with the Yuengling beer. That's not from Frederick, and we have a couple really great beer companies right here in Frederick. So I'm going to suggest that that we should have Flying Dog or Monocacy Brewing Company and have one of their beers prominently displayed there next year.
Richard, we'd love to do that, but before we do that, we're going to have some samples brought in. One of the things that I want to piggyback on what Richard said is, he talked about people coming from all over the country to participate in this event. We have 35 different states represented. We have 3 different countries represented, so that's very powerful and impressive stuff. And one of the things I always like to show is our gear, and we have really good gear. We are very proud of the apparel that we put out there, and this year, this is what the team relay looks like, that shirt looks like, and the 5K is this blazing red with the red design there. And, of course, then you have the half marathon shirt as well, nice long sleeve heather garment. So these are very important. The reason they're very important, the reason why we're long on the gear and we don't give you a cheap T-shirt with 1,000, you can also see that we only put our big sponsors on the back, 1,000 logos on, is because these turns into little marketing and advertisements for this event and for the community, because invariably what's going to happen is somebody's going to participate here, and then they're going to go run in Chicago or Washington, D.C. or Philadelphia, and they're going to be standing in line in their Frederick Running Festival shirt. And invariably somebody is going to ask them about the event and about Frederick. And at that point, that guy turns into your best grassroots marketing guy. And he's going to say what a great time he had here in Frederick, how beautiful and charming the city was. So these babies are very, very important. And by the way, we brought one for everyone. So on your way out, please grab it. Also, something we're very proud of is the charitable contributions that this event has been able to make over the years. In the first 12 years, or first 11 years, this is our 12th year, $240,000 has been directly donated to Frederick area charities. That doesn't even count all the various charity groups that participate and use our event to raise funds. This is just what we donate, to all the charities that are involved. So, want to thank everybody that's involved in that. We have some charities here that we're going to recognize at the end here. Also, this year, special thanks goes to our medical partners for providing medical support all along the course. We have 3 medical stations around the course. We have 1 large tent at the finish line and several bike teams, which is really new. I want to thank Frederick Memorial Hospital, Dottie Corbett for all her hard work, and our new good friends from the Whitetail Ski Patrol. Mark Clem and Bill Zink are here today. I want to thank them for their support. The Whitetail Ski Patrol will have over 25 members of their team that are going to be all along the course on various bike teams, and they're going to be lending support to all the runners out there. No snow on the mountain. Figured you guys would be up for the challenge. I'd also like to introduce Bill and Mark Clem to come on up for a minute, say a few words.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much. We're very excited to be part of the group and be able to donate our time for this. We wanted to give you a shirt to welcome you and come up and visit us on the slope anytime. And we have several patrollers that are going to be running in the race, and we cover the Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania patrol at our mountain, and we'll have them well represented at the mountain. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Clemmer. I'm not sure if you really want me up at the mountain because that'll really test your crew. I'm not a strong skier. Next, I would like to introduce a woman who has literally put her blood, her sweat, and her tears into this event. She's been unbelievable. Our race director, Frederick's own Miss Rachel Ridgway.
Thank you. I have the pleasure of telling everybody what we're going to do this weekend, other than just run around town. So everything really kicks off for us on Saturday when we have our expo that will be from 10 to 5 on that big building. It's in the big building 9 there at the Frederick Fairgrounds. That's when all these runners that are coming to town need to come by, pick up their bib and their shirts, and get to shop around the various vendors that are included in that expo. We have local businesses, we have national businesses, we have lots of people there. So it's a nice time, and you also get to hang out and meet other runners. It's a lot of fun. So it's open to the public. Anyone can come. It's a lot of fun. Starting at 5 o'clock is our first event. We have the Kids Fun Run, and that is a world of fun. somebody usually gets trampled. It's usually Lee, because these kids are fast and they're willing to. Yeah, we have a couple different heats. It really is a lot of fun. It's supposed to be a non-competitive event, but these are kids who they're in it to win it. So they run really fast. We only send them out. I think the farthest we send them is halfway around the track. So they have a great time. That's the older kids. We have then a younger group that starts about where that pedestrian entrance is. They run a quarter of the track, and then for the wee ones, we just send them out about 100 yards. So they have a great time. While they're doing that, we're starting to stage the 5K, because that also starts on the track. So it's a lot of fun for the kids because they have a huge crowd of other runners there cheering for them. So our 5K starts at 6 p.m. It's one of the unique 5Ks in Frederick that isn't on a Saturday or Sunday morning at Baker Park. So we get a big turnout for it. We get about 1,500 runners that come. It starts and ends at the fairgrounds, goes out and around Monocacy Boulevard, and comes back. So, and then we have a little party there in the infield. So the big race, the half marathon, starts on Sunday at 7 a.m. It starts on Patrick Street. The whole course map is here. It's online. It's the same course that we've used the last couple years. So at least I think the residents and people coming into town are familiar with the course and exactly what impact they may or may not see. We try to be in and out as quickly as possible, so as the runners clear the area, we pick up and there's no sign of us. So you'll see it starts there at the fairgrounds. We go south as far as like Costco, Monocacy Boulevard. We come up around Baker Park and the hospital and Hood, and then go north to Schifferstadt and back down and around the dreaded Highland Hill, back up to the fairgrounds. The runners finish on the track, so it's a lot of fun as they come around the turn there and head for home. So it's also a unique race in that regard, starting and ending on the track, or at least ending on the track for that event. Unique also to this event is what we have, we call our Nut Job Challenge. This is for runners who want to do the 5K on Saturday night and then turn around and run the half marathon the next morning. So if they finish both of those events, then we give them a special nut job medal. And we have about 700 people that are going to do that. We started out the first year, I think, saying, we might get 50, 100 people that'll do it, and that's really taken off. So we're at 700 right now. Another promotion that we do is called the King Crab Challenge. So if you run Frederick, and then this summer run the Baltimore 10 miler, and then in the fall run part of the Baltimore Marathon or half marathon, then you get a special backpack and are crowned a king crab. And those, right now I think we have about 500 people signed up to do that. So it kind of not only promotes Frederick for those people who are from Baltimore and say, hey, I really want this, but I'm going to have to go to Frederick to complete the trio there. Hey, it helps everybody out, and it gets our runners from Frederick to head up towards Baltimore and explore some really beautiful parts of Baltimore those courses demonstrate. And then the other challenge, we have two other challenges. One is the Maryland Double. That's just if you run the Frederick half and then the Baltimore half or whole marathon. Again, about 1,400 people signed up for that, and they get a special medal at the finish of the Baltimore Marathon. And we also have our Titanium Girl Challenge that's unique to our event. It's for runners who participated in the Iron Girl Half Marathon last weekend and then turn around and run our half marathon this weekend. So those women get a special medal at the finish of that race. And we have, there's usually several hundred of them that sign up for that. So, bottom line, it's a lot of fun. You can get a lot of bling, as we call it, for just showing up and having a great time. The Celebration Village in the infield there, it looks like it's going to be a great weekend for it. People tend to just hang out, listen to the band, have some food. There's a great kid zone in there, so the families are welcome. They all just kind of hang out and have a picnic. It's a lot of fun. So we invite you all to come together for that as well. All right, and the bands? Shall I mention the bands? On Saturday, the band is called Thunderball, and on Sunday, Alter Ego is playing from 9:30 to 12:30. So, anything else I should throw in would be the fabulous volunteers that it takes to put on this event. We absolutely could not do it without them. it literally takes a village to support our village. We have so many tried and true volunteers that have come out for so many years that now we actually have a waiting list of groups that want to be volunteers, to do a water stop and whatnot. Like, this has become like a badge of honor. We do a water stop that day. So it takes at least 500 volunteers to do everything from the expo to course support to the finish line village. It takes a lot of people, and we absolutely couldn't do it without them. So we thank everybody for coming out, even to volunteer. It really, as a runner, I know we can't do it without them, and as a coordinator of this event, we absolutely couldn't do it without them. So thank you to all the volunteers. So now back to Lee. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel's been involved with this event for so many years, and I wasn't kidding about the blood, sweat, and tears thing, because she got in a fight one time with one of our guys, and no, I'm kidding. So, as she's wiped out a few times on the bikes, measuring the course, that's for sure. Now it's time to recognize some of our big sponsors. Number one, our radio partner here in the Frederick area. They've been a great partner of ours for a number of years, and we thank them for helping us promote this event, not only to get runners to come sign up from the community, but also to make everybody aware of it. And that's really, really helpful. The less people that we can surprise, the better off we're going to be, and the less that gentleman's phone is going to ring. And that's all good for us. So I want to introduce our good friends Troy Skinner and Dina Carroll from WFMD FRA. Say a few words. They're running for a number of charities. Number one, Christmas Cash for Kids in St. Jude's.
Hi, how are you? I'm part of the Free Country Wake Up Crew. I'm Dina, the part of Tom and Dina, and I did this last year. It was my first year. Did the training. It was very nerve-wracking because I have panic attacks. They let me do early start, so that was all good. I just ran last week the half marathon in Nashville, and $125,000 was raised for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And that is you guys. That's the community. You know, I have to say this area is so generous. The surrounding area, it is unbelievable. And of course, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital doesn't only benefit the hospital on location, it really benefits all the areas because they share their information with everyone. So when you support St. Jude, you're actually supporting the Frederick County area. So Team WFRE, we are walking for reasons everywhere. I am running tomorrow morning, and I will be doing the early start so we don't have a panic attack on our hands. I know that you will be happy about that as well, so I don't have to take up all your medical parts. So now you're going to be talking on our sister station.
Bob Miller, morning mayor on WFMD, couldn't be here because of mandatory training that he had to participate in at the radio station. Same for Diana Gibson, who's participating in the event, and Jessica Mitko. I'm standing in on her stead as well. She's our promotions director, and she's running in the event as well. As Dina mentioned, Team WFRE, which is who Dina is running for, raised $125,000-ish this year through the running events. That's just a part of what has become over $2 million raised, nearly $2.5 million raised in 6 years with our Country Cares radiothons that we do, and this is a big part of that. And the money that's being raised for what Bob Miller is doing is going for Christmas Cash for Kids, which benefits the Salvation Army and struggling families who otherwise wouldn't be able to celebrate Christmas. And we will cross the $2 million mark dollars raised for Christmas Cash for Kids in all likelihood this year. And so events like this, the support of sponsors like Nicolak, who's going to be hosting one of the water stops, it allows us to partner with our business partners in new and interesting ways. And we're excited to be a part of something. I was really pleasantly not surprised maybe isn't the right word, but it was a good thing to hear from the mayor when he talked about how there's a shift in attitudes. There are sacrifices that need to be made in the community. There's a sacrifice that the runners go through, sacrificing their time and their bodies. There's financial sacrifices that the financial supporters and donators make. There's a sacrifice of time away from family for the event organizers and that sort of thing. And obviously some sacrifices the churches have had to make to reorganize their Sunday mornings for the event. But what I'm encouraged by is that we've begun to realize as a community that these sacrifices are really investments. And I think we've begun to turn a corner where we're not looking at it as a sacrifice. We're looking at it as an opportunity to serve, to raise money, to raise awareness, and to be there to support the community coming together. And so we're thrilled to be able to play just a small part in that.
Thank you, Troy. Well said. Last but not least, our main man. This organization, they really came on board right when Corrigan Sports Enterprises came on board with the Care First Frederick Running Festival. And that what we were able to do is take the event from about 2,000 runners before Care First, and then after Care First, now we've grown it to about 7,000 runners with the help of the financial support from Care First, which has been so important. That very first year, we basically took all that money and we invested it, just like Troy just said. We didn't sacrifice it. We invested it in the event, and obviously it's paid great dividends. I'd like to thank the whole gang at Care First. So many people over there have been very supportive of Frederick and our organization. Maria Tilden, Susan Brandon, Rita Costello, and Mr. Chet Burrell, and especially our good friend who's here with us today, the Director of External Affairs, Mr. Mike Sullivan.
It's great to be here in support of the Frederick Running Festival. Again, for Care First, this is I think it's our 8th year involved in the program, and we're very happy to do it. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, many people know us as the region's largest health insurer, and that's certainly our primary focus. We insure 3.3 million people in Maryland, Washington, D.C., and parts of Northern Virginia. And so in terms of what we do in the community, a lot of people don't know just how extensive that is. We will give and typically give over somewhere in the area of $40 to $50 million each year in support of programs that increase access to health care, the quality of health care, and the affordability of health care. And those contributions make us the largest corporate philanthropist both in the Baltimore metropolitan area and in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, and we're proud to do it. But events such as this have a special place for us in terms of our support because they touch on so many things that are important to us. And perhaps the biggest one is health. So it's one of the things that make it really easy for us to get involved in an event like this. The other runs that we support through Corrigan Sports Enterprises, because they foster people to go out, get healthy, do things that they haven't done, challenge themselves. And actually, one of the biggest challenges in healthcare is getting people to take charge of their health. And walks, runs like this, particularly ones that offer so many opportunities for people at so many different levels to participate and get engaged, are really important to us. On a personal note, it's interesting to hear the talk about the community getting behind it. I won't be running here this weekend, but every year I am on the course for the Baltimore Marathon and the Baltimore Half Marathon because it runs right past my front door. And it always has. And one of the things that I see every year are more of my neighbors coming out to cheer. And I see the people at my kids' school coming out to cheer the runners 2 blocks down. And you get a sense of community spirit that grows over time. So, events like this, they foster economic investment, they foster health at the individual and community level, and they bring communities together. And so that makes it something that's very easy for us to support year after year, and we're happy to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. Overall, we will have over 15 charities all along the course that will be manning water stops and helping us, once again, put on this event. The volunteer staff is great. And all those groups will benefit from this event as well. But before the first runner even crosses the finish line, we're going to present some charitable funds to some very worthy charities. Our old partner, my main man, Arnold Farlow, what a great job that they do at the Frederick Rescue Mission, not just serving the community and giving people a beacon of light, but also putting years back on myself's life and then my entire staff's life, because they come out and help us. They help us set up. They help us tear down. And I got to tell you, it makes me feel a lot better on Monday morning. I can tell you that much. Today, I'd like to invite Arnold and his crew to come on up, along with Michael and Rachel, our race director, take a picture with a big check. We'd like to donate $7,000 before we even get started.
Lee, I want to thank you so much. We've been doing this 7 years with Corrigan Sports. After 7 years, I feel like we're family. We might only see each other once a year, but sometimes that's how family works, you know? But we got involved about 7 years ago. The Frederick Rescue Mission is not just wanting to receive money for our purpose and our cause, but we also want to serve. And one of the greatest benefits the Frederick Running Festival provides, we have our men in our program, our Change Life Recovery program. We got 3 guys right here, and Pastor Keith Rivers, who is the head of the program. We'll also have 6 other men running in it. Another spinoff of the Frederick Running Festival is that we started our own race as a warm-up for the Frederick Running Festival. Unfortunately, it was really a warm-up this year. We had snow, rain, and sleet, and 30 degrees, but we had over 650 runners register and about 500 run. So there's a lot of stuff that comes out of this running festival that's not just contained in the running festival. There's all kinds of things that just keep happening. And I mentioned this last year, but I got to mention this again. Corrigan Sports is not just about events. When we built the new building that served over 148,000 meals last year, Corrigan Sports gave a very generous donation for our capital campaign. And they're just really, like I said, good friends and a great partner to our community. Thank you very much, Lee, and your staff.
Excellent.
If I can just add in, one of the cool partnerships that we have with the rescue mission is that they enable us to do literally like 100% recycling, because they collect all the clothes that are discarded along the finish line. We're able to clean those, redistribute, and then any food, water, whatever that we have left over goes back to the rescue mission and is served in meals, throughout the week. So it's a privilege for us to be able to donate that way and be able to give back to the community. And we thank you for all your work.
Thanks, Rachel. Then next up, we have a couple of organizations that have been with us for years. Where did she sneak off to? Ann McDonald. Where? There she is. Okay. She's been with us for many, many years, and now she used to be with the Special Olympics of Maryland group, but now she is with the Service Coordination Organization, an organization that supports folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We'd like to thank our longtime supporter and for all her support, and I'd like to invite you to say a couple words and also receive this big check with Mike and Rachel. Say a few words.
We want to thank Corrigan Sports for their generous donation, and we just wanted to let you know that it will go directly to people with developmental disabilities here in Frederick. So we thank you very much. And I enjoy being here. How long has it been? 8, 9 years, maybe?
100 years.
So I love it. So I'm on the volunteer end of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, buddy. Next up is the Community Living Organization, also an organization dedicated to helping people with disabilities live productive lives. I'd like to thank Executive Director Susan Holton, who's here today, Director Carlotta Salter, Donna Fuss, and Anna Lee. We'd like to invite them to come up and get their picture taken with the big check. Anna L. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you. We also would like to say thank you very much. And actually, community living's been involved before you even took over because it was started by a guy called Eric Fairbanks who belonged to my Rotary Club. And so we've been at every one. We've been through the snow. We've been through the heat. We've been through that. And we even had one time where we tried one with people with disabilities and used a wheelchair. So we thank you. We'll continue to support it. It's a wonderful event for our people to really interact, and we just love supporting Frederick. So thank you.
At this time, I'd like to open it up to the media or anyone else who has any other questions about the event, the logistics, the schedule, the weather, hamstrings. Anybody? What do you got? If there's any questions or you would like to do a one-on-one with myself or Mike or Rachel, please feel free to touch base with Dave Gell over there, who is preparing the food. We invite everybody to stay for lunch. We have some sandwiches and some fruit over there, as well as please take one of the awesome shirts that we have this year. So thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you this weekend.